There's a subject that we touch on all the time here, and we certainly touched on it several times throughout today's show, and that's fear. And one of the things that I'm learning in this life is that fear is something that can get in the way of everything that's good. And that we need to put fear in a category where we can understand it, where we don't just poo-poo it and shove it to the side, because fear is real. But fear, and what I've been taught to do, is think of it as false evidence appearing real. The F.E.A.R, false evidence appearing real. Now, it doesn't change the fact of how you feel. And one of the things that I really love about the practice of mindfulness is that it doesn't say that how you feel is wrong, because how you feel is how you feel, right? There's no negotiating it. It's not a, well, you should then stop feeling that way. Well, good luck with that. Let me know how that works for you, right? That's always my feeling when somebody says, well, oh, that's not appropriate. That's not, what that was, but that's what it feels like. And we always have to deal with that. And as an autism mom, I have tried to protect my son, because there have been times that somebody has said that I'll say, well, he had this reaction to it because to him it seemed like this. And then often I see that people go, yeah, but that's not what it was. Okay, but that's what it feels like for him. So that's what we need to deal with. But once you're talking about the fear and you're accepting that the fear is there, to acknowledge that often fear is false evidence appearing real. So asking yourself the question that we borrow from Byron Katie, is it true? Is it true? I certainly heard a lot of people yesterday talking about fear of flying because of this devastating accident, and our thoughts and prayers and condolences for the family of the poor woman who died in the Southwest plane accident. But I don't know about you, it was stunning to me to hear that that's the first fatality on a Southwest Airlines flight in 58 years, I believe they said, and that it is the first fatality on a commercial American flight since 2009. When you think about how many planes fly every day, and yes, occasionally there are things that happen where devastatingly something, there's a loss of life. But when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, since 2009, when you think about how many more car accidents there are, or how many more accidents there are from people slipping in a swimming pool, or, it's just crazy when you think about how much more fear we all have, not all of us, a lot of us have around flying. So to take a moment when you're in fear, to just have a mindfulness moment, to go identify the feeling. And by the way, this is a really good thing to do for ourselves, to identify what it is that we're feeling, because sometimes you'll be feeling something and you have no name for it, and so it's hard to figure out what to do about it, right? When we name it, and to do that around our kids, and to help them to name their feelings, it helps them too. I can remember at one point my son was having, he was little, but he was having a lot of anxiety. And I said to him, I said, you're just feeling anxious, but it's okay. What you're feeling is anxious. And I remember the look he gave me of, oh, so this feeling that I'm having, you're calling it anxious and you're telling me it's going to be okay. And he took it at face value, because he was little and he was at a place in his intervention where, he took everything as being real. And the fact that I said, you're feeling something, it's this and it's okay, he was like, all right. And some of the anxiety went away. So we can do that for ourselves. We can say, what am I feeling right now? I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling fearful. I'm having free-floating anxiety, right? And to say, okay, why? What is happening in this moment that is maybe stirring this up? And sometimes you're not sure, right? But if you go, okay, so what would be causing this? Is there something that's kicking my can? Is there's something that reminds me of something else? And a lot of times, my friends, it is that if once before, when you went to, you had a meeting at Starbucks, on the way there you got into a car accident, sometimes it can be 5 years later and you're going to another meeting at Starbucks and you're feeling anxiety and you don't know why, and you think to yourself, okay, so why is that? Why would I have anxiety? Why would I be fearful going into a Starbucks? Oh, right. Once upon a time, a long time ago, I got into a car accident. And then it's like bringing it out into the light and going, right, but that happened once, and that's not going to happen every time I go to a Starbucks. There's something about being mindful about it, shedding that light on it, that makes it into what is actual, true, and real. That false evidence appearing real. It's false evidence. I go into Starbucks and something bad happens, right? But you really can't address that until you bring it into the light. So name it, say, I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling this? And now, is that true? And even the truth, I will tell you honestly, I do this on planes. When planes are taking off, I will go, okay, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling anxious. Why? Well, because I'm flying on a plane and that can be dangerous. Is that true? No, it's not true. Air flight is not dangerous. It is true, however, that sometimes accidents happen on planes. So it's appropriate that I'm feeling some anxiety, right? We're not poo-pooing it and saying you shouldn't feel that way. It's appropriate that I would feel some anxiety in light of these things. However, the statistics are that I am probably safer on this plane than I am sitting in my office, right? And there is something about that that quiets, it's dealing with what actually is, which is much easier sometimes than what our subconscious creates. So have a mindfulness moment when you're feeling fear.